Hello, good day from wherever you're watching us. You're all welcome to our book review. You're welcome. Yes, we'll be reviewing this book, this wonderful book, The Magic of Thinking Big. Okay, we started reviewing this book last week. Yes, and today we'll be making progress. We'll be reviewing the part two of this book. So bear with me a few minutes and we'll start just in a few minutes. Thank you. Okay. All right, thank you very much for your patience. So say hello, say hi, so we will know you are here with us. Yes, we want to know where you are streaming from. We want to know you're present here. So you're all welcome to this beautiful platform. My name is Choma Odikulu, and here you're welcome to this place where we learn, where we improve on ourselves, where we renew our minds through learning, where we grow our thoughts and everything. So you're welcome. So we'll move straight to our book review, the part two and the final session of this book review. So if you did not catch, or if you are not with us live in last week's class, you can go catch a replay where we review the part one of this book. It's a wonderful book. It's a book I'm going to encourage everyone to get. So we're going to start right away. So today we'll be reviewing the part two of this book, The Magic of Thinking Big. The Magic of Thinking Big. I will be reviewing about 5 chapters, so we'll move straight into our conversation of today. If you have any suggestion, if you have any question, if you have any opinion or contribution, you can put it in the comment section so we'll know you are here with us. Just comment so it will be interactive. Yes, so chapter 7 of this beautiful book, we're going to be talking about managing our environment. Our environment is a very important aspect of our life, so we don't have to leave it to chance. We don't have to say, okay, this thing does not concern me. No, it's very important for us to manage our environment. If we must achieve our goals, if we must be successful in everything we do, we have to be intentional about our environment, because our environment is bigger than our values. Now, we are a product of our environment. Our environment influences all and everything we do. We are a product of our environment. Our environment influences everything we do. The way we dress, the way we speak, the way we have conversations, our thought patterns, our beliefs, most of all those things that have formed who we are today is a product of our environment. So our environment influences everything we do. So we don't have to leave our environment to chance. We have to be intentional about our environment. We have to be intentional about the people in our space and in our circle. Thank you, sir, for joining us. The size of our thinking, our goals, our attitude, our very personality is formed by our environment. Our goals, the dreams we have about ourselves, our aspirations, everything about us is formed by our environment. So our environment is a key and an important aspect of our life. Now, prolonged association with negative people make us think negatively. So when we have a prolonged association with negative people, which is part of our environment, it makes us to start to think negatively, because those negative people are part of our environment, influencing us in a negative way. When we have close contact with petty individuals, it helps us to begin to develop petty habits as these individuals do. But on the other side, if you flip the coin, when we are friends with people that have positive mindsets, when we are friends with people that will always be there to encourage us, when we are friends with people that have a growth mindset, it's going to help us to succeed. It's going to help us to do well in every endeavor of our life. So we need to be very careful with the people in our environment, the people in our space. Now, the person we are today, the people who we are today, the person you've turned out to become, your personality, your ambition, your present status in life are largely the result of your psychological environment. Our environment is everything. So we don't have to leave our environment to chance. We don't have to give the keys of our environment to someone. We have to take full responsibility of our environment. What is in our space? What is in our circle? Who is in this space? The person that we are, or the people we will become in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, or in the next 20 years, it depends on our future environment. Can you see? Our environment influences everything we are. Our past environment, our previous environment, the way we grew up, everything about us has been shaped. We're a product of our environment. Also, our future, the people we're going to be in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, is going to be dependent on our future environment. So what are you doing? Are you making the right choice to position yourself to be in the right environment? Or are you just winging it? Are you leaving it to chance? It's very important for us not to leave our environment and people in our space to chance, because the people who are going to be in the future, the person you're going to be in 20 years time, in 10 years time, is a result and a product of your future environment. So we need to get to work now to intentionally position the right environment, to intentionally position the right people to be in this space, so that when we get to that point, we don't start to struggle. So we have to understand that our environment, the people in our space, have a lot to do with our success, have a lot to do with the way we think, have a lot to do with the way we even see ourselves. So we don't have to leave it to chance. And we have to be intentional to move around with people that are positive minded. Not people that are negatives. Not people that when you bring up an idea, they are always quick to turn it down. Not people that when you bring up a suggestion, they are always quick to tell you, oh, you can't do it. You can't do it. That is where we have to be very cautious of the people we put in our space and the people in our environment. So we must make our environment help us to be successful. We can intentionally create the right environment for ourselves. So we have to be conscious of our environment. We have to be conscious of our space. Just the same way we eat the right kind of food, the right balanced diet to grow, to be healthy, to have the right nutrition and everything. That is the same way we need to position the right set of people in our environment, because the people in our environment has a lot to do with affecting our mind and everything around us. So it's our responsibility to make our environment work for us, not against us. It is your responsibility to make your environment to work for you, not against you. So don't let suppressive or negative people within your space, because when you allow this kind of people within your space, when you allow negative things within your space or within your environment, you're therefore making your environment to work against you. So it's our duty to make our environment work for us. Now, don't let small thinking people hold you back or hold us back. We should not in any way allow small thinking people to hold us back. We should not allow people that are going to turn down our ideas to hold us back. We should not allow people that are going to say no to all of our suggestions to hold us back. These people are forming our environment, so we have to be intentional and stay far away from people that are negatives, people that always turn us down, people that always tell us, no, you can't do it. We have to be intentional and guide our environment, guide our space. Now, for us to be successful, it is very important we do not leave our environment to chance. We do not leave our environment into the hands of anybody. Rather, we intentionally sit down to create the kind of environment we want for ourselves as individuals, as parents, the kind of environment we want for our children, the kind of future we are going to have is going to be dependent on the environment we are creating today. So the question I have for us is, what efforts have we made to create the right environment for us that will be of benefit to us in the future? Now we're going to move to the next chapter. Yes, chapter 8 of this book, wonderful book, The Magic of Thinking Big. Make your attitudes your allies. Our attitude is everything. Our attitude has a way of even affecting the way we do things, the way we walk, the way we relate to people. Our attitude has to do with a whole lot about us. Do you know that even for us to achieve our goals, our attitude has to come into play? So it is very important for us to take note of our attitude, the attitude we put in towards work, the attitude we put in our families, the attitude we put in our personal development, the attitude we bring into any space we find ourselves. Now, when our attitudes are right, our abilities will also be right. And it helps us to reach a maximum of our potential. It helps us to be effective. It helps us to achieve good results. So when we portray, or when we have the right attitude, it helps us to achieve great results. When we have the right attitude towards learning, towards anything you can think of, is it in raising our children, is it in parenting, towards work, towards our family, towards our careers, when we have the right attitude, it's going to help us to achieve the right results. So we must first of all start from the point of our attitude. So before you embark on any venture, before you embark on any task, before you do anything, first of all sit down and ask yourself, do I have the right attitude to embark on this? Because our attitude, when we have a positive attitude, is going to help us to achieve the right results. Now, right attitude win for us in every situation. When we have the right attitude, we are going to win in all fronts. We are going to win in every situation. When you have the right attitude towards your career, you're going to win in your career. When you have the right attitude towards your family, you're going to win in your family. When you have the right attitude towards your work, you're going to win in your work. When you have the right attitude towards raising your children, you're going to win in that aspect. When you have the right attitude towards personal development, towards developing yourself and renewing yourself, you're going to win in that aspect. So when we have the right attitude, it's going to help us to achieve success. Now we have to grow our attitude. We grow the attitude we want, to portray. You don't have to just see that. It doesn't fall on us. We have to be intentional, create the right step, the right system, and plan how to grow this attitude, because our attitude is very important. Now we must remember, to activate others, we must first of all activate ourselves. And one of the ways we can activate ourselves is by bringing in the right attitude. So in any space we find ourselves, we should always be the people that bring in the right attitude. Now, to get enthusiasm about anything, to be enthusiastic about anything, is it a place, people, is it your career, or about anything, we must first of all bring in the right attitude. So when we are having difficulty in any area of our life, when we're having difficulty in our personal growth, in our development, you're having difficulty in reading a book, you're having difficulty in your parenting, you're having difficulty in your family or in your career or any aspect of your life, the first question we should ask ourselves is, what attitude do I bring towards this thing? Do I have the right attitude? Am I bringing the positive attitude? Am I bringing the right energy? Do I have the attitude to want to learn? Do I have the attitude to want to dig deep and learn about this thing that is difficult to me? So we must first of all bring in the right attitude, because the attitude we bring into a particular activity or a particular area of difficulty to us is going to influence, is going to affect or determine our results. Now, to build this enthusiasm, because attitude, have been enthusiastic about something, is also about bringing in the right attitude. For you to learn, for you to be successful, for us to be successful, we have to be enthusiastic, and that is part of bringing the right attitude. Now, to build this enthusiasm, one of the ways we can do this is that we have to be intentional about spreading good news. We have to be intentional about saying good about people. We have to be intentional about speaking important things, good things about people, and not turning people down. You know, we have to help people feel important. That is one way of bringing the right attitude towards something. Because when we help other people feel important, we also help ourselves to feel important as well. So we have to be intentional not to take people down by the things we say, by our conversation. Because when you take people down by your conversation, you are actually bringing in the wrong attitude in that system. So when you want to do something with that person, you already have the wrong attitude, because you're taking that person down by speaking negatively. So for us to be enthusiastic, to bring in the right attitude, we must be broadcasters of good news. We must treat everyone as important, and not looking at some people as less important or putting people into category. So we must treat everyone as important. If we must feel important to succeed, we must help others as well to feel important. If we must feel important as parents, as individuals, it's our duty to also help others to feel important. Because when we help other people to feel important, it's also a way of bringing in the right attitude. It's also a way of bringing in the right energy and not the negative energy. To also succeed, we must also first of all put in the service, put in the right attitude towards the service. We're serving our family, we're serving at our place of work, we're serving in our churches, we're serving in different areas and different aspects of our life. We must put in the right attitude. So we should always ask ourselves this question: how can I give more than is expected of me? What kind of attitude can I bring into this system? Can I bring into this space that will be more than is required of me? So it is very important for us to bring in the right attitude, and it's our responsibility to grow our attitude. Our attitude does not just stay and grow on its own. It's our responsibility to do the work on ourselves. We must grow our attitude for us to achieve success. And some of the ways we can grow our attitude include digging in deeper. So when you find yourself uninterested about anything, for example, you find yourself uninterested about reading, you find yourself uninterested about furthering your career, you find yourself uninterested about anything, about any area, you just see that you're not interested about that thing. One of the ways you can bring in the right attitude is to dig deep and ask yourself questions. But I need to bring in the right attitude. When you dig deep, ask yourself questions. What can I learn about this thing? When you start to develop this enthusiasm about this thing that is difficult for you, you just find out that somehow you begin to pick up and want to learn that thing that seems difficult to you. So the thing is to bring in the right attitude. Dig deeper by bringing in the right attitude, by being enthusiastic in anything you want to achieve. You want to further your career, you want to study, you want to read a book, you want to be a better parent, you want to do anything, bring in the right attitude and bring in the enthusiasm. Another way we can grow our attitude is to life up everything about us. We should life up our smile, our handshake, even the way we walk. We should be alive. Even when you're greeting someone, you're relating with someone, we should be alive and not dull. That is one of the ways we can bring in or grow our attitude. Then, as I said earlier, we must broadcast good news. No one ever accomplished any positive thing when you talk bad about them. No one accomplished anything positive by spreading bad news. Yes, that is it. No one accomplished anything good by spreading bad news. So we must be there to promote good about people. By doing that, we are bringing the right attitude. Now, grow the you are important attitude. We must intentionally make it look like, okay, I am important and everyone around me is important. We must learn to see people as important. That is one of the ways we can bring in the right attitude. And as we said, this right attitude has a way of helping us to achieve success, of helping us to achieve our goals. Now, we must remember to always show appreciation at every opportunity. When we make people feel important, one of the ways we can make people feel important is to show appreciation. Even in the very little of things, someone has done something, one of the ways we can bring in the right attitude in any system we find ourselves is to always show appreciation to people. Another way we can bring in the right attitude is to grow with the mindset of bringing in the right service. Bringing in the right service with the right attitude, it's going to help us a long way. So that is that about attitude. Our attitude influences everything we do. It affects everything we do. So we should be intentional to grow our attitude and to bring in the right attitude wherever we find ourselves. Then the next chapter, which is chapter 9 of The Magic of Thinking begins. Think right towards people. For us to be successful, for us to think big, for us to achieve our goal, we must learn to think right about people. We should not be those people that pull people down. We should not be those people that speak bad about people when they are not with us. But we must think right about people, because success depends on the support of other people. We can't achieve success alone. We need other people to help us on our journey of growth. We need other people. We need coaches. We need mentors. We need those that have gone ahead of us to help us on this our journey of growth. So we don't have to pull people down because we cannot achieve it alone. It's a teamwork. It's teamwork. So we have to have the right mindset. We have to think right towards people because it's the same people that will help us on our journey of growth, on our journey of life, on our careers, in anything we are doing. To be successful, we have to think right towards people since we depend on people. We're a product of communities. We can't do life alone. We depend on people in every area and every aspect of our life. We depend on people. So we don't have to pull people down because it's the same people that will help us to achieve our goals. It's the same people that God will send down to help us to reach our destination where we are going to. So we must learn to think right about people, because these same people will help us towards our goal. Now we have to practice some of these things. Some of the things we can begin to practice to help us to think right about people is to take the initiative of building friendship with people that share the same value with you. We don't do life alone. We do life in communities. You can't just say, okay, I'm alone, I'm going to do everything alone. No, we don't do life alone. We do life in communities. So one of the ways we can think right about people is to always take the initiative to build friendship with people that share the same value with us. We must find qualities to like and admire in people. We must always be out to look for qualities to like in people and not qualities to talk down about or not qualities to disqualify people. So we must be intentional to always look out for the good in people. Even when we get to a space and people are saying, oh, something negative about a certain kind of person or people, we must always be intentional to always look for the good in people, because it's people that we need people to help us to achieve our goal. Another way we can think right about people is don't blame others when you receive a setback. So when we receive setback, most of us, we are in this position of transferring responsibility. We blame everyone around us except ourselves. When we encounter a setback, we look for who to blame. But we must get to the point of not blaming people, but rather taking responsibility for our life and for everything we do. Another way we can think good about people is to practice courtesy all the time. It makes the other person to feel better. We must learn to be cautious. We must learn to practice courtesy all the time because it helps to uplift people. It still brings down to attitude. It's the right attitude. It helps people to feel good about themselves. Then we must practice conversation generously. We must learn to speak, to engage with people. We must learn to encourage people to talk about their views, their opinions, their accomplishments. When we do that, we begin to think right about people. And the final way we can do this by think right about people is to make ourselves lighter to lift. We must practice being the kind of person people like. This means that we must put in the effort to be that kind of person that always look out for the good in someone, that always look out for the good in every situation. When we do that, we find that we begin to think right and positive towards people. And as I said earlier, it is very important we don't pull down people, because on our journey of growth, on our journey of success, to achieve our goal, to get to that point we want to get to, we need people. We need people in our space. Thank you for joining us. We need people in our space. So we should not pull down people. Rather, we should think right about people. We should always look for the good in people to admire and not the bad to pull people down. Yes. So we'll move over to chapter 10 of our book, The Magic of Thinking Big. Get the action habits. Yes, we have to get the right action. We have to put in the right action to be successful, to achieve our goals. How can we practice this? Number one, we have to be people who do things, okay? We have to be people, we have to be doers. We have to be people that get to work and not people that always postpone. So for us to achieve success, for us to achieve our goals, we must act with a sense of urgency. We must act with the sense of do it now. We must be doers and not people that say, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. Not people that postpone. I'm going to do it next week. I'm going to do it next month. No, for us to reach our goals, we must act now with a sense of urgency. An idea comes to your mind as a parent, you write it down and act on it now. You have a goal, you don't wait till tomorrow. You start acting on that goal. You write it now and act on it. So we must be doers for us to achieve our goals. Another way we can get the right habit or the right action, don't wait until conditions are perfect. We should not wait until we have all the perfect conditions, because the truth is that we will never have a perfect condition. There will never, there won't be a time where we'll say everything is perfect, we're going to start now. So when you have something you want to do, you want to achieve a goal, you want to start up a business, you want to read a book, don't wait for the perfect condition. Don't say, oh, I'm going to read a book when I'm done with all my chores, I've done everything, I've started the children, I've started my husband. Do it now. Act with a sense of urgency. Don't wait, because that condition might never come. And when it never comes, you just find out that you keep postponing and postponing. And that is one of the reasons why we postpone. We postpone because we wait for the perfect condition. You want to start up a business, but you're waiting till you have the biggest capital to start. You want to start up a YouTube channel. You want to start up a Facebook group. You're waiting till every condition is perfect. But the truth is that those conditions will never be perfect. So for you to get to work, for you to achieve your goals, start now. Don't postpone. Don't say, I'm going to do it tomorrow. No. Start now and do what you have to do with the resources you have. Then the other way we can get the right action is to act on our ideas. It's good we have ideas, but the truth is that nothing will happen if we don't act on our ideas. You have a lot of ideas. You have beautiful ideas in your head. All we keep doing is to keep telling people, oh, I have this idea. I have this idea. I want to do this. I want to achieve this. The truth is that those ideas will just be mere thinking, or it will just be in our heads if we don't get to work, if we don't act on those ideas. So for example, you have the idea of, okay, you want to write a book, and you keep it in your mind, oh, I want to write a book. You keep saying it, you keep rehearsing it, I want to write a book. The truth is that if you don't take the first step of sitting down and writing some words, writing the first page of that book, it will just be in your head. So one of the ways, the right attitude for us to be successful is to act on our ideas fast. Don't postpone. An idea comes to you, act on it now. Do what you need to do now. You need to write a reminder, write a reminder. You need to call someone, call the person. You need to send a text, send a text. But the most important thing is for us to act on our ideas now, not tomorrow. Remember, act with a sense of urgency. Another right action we can have or portray is to use action to cure fear and gain confidence. One of the ways we can cure our fears and gain confidence is to use action. So when you're scared of something, you'll still be scared of that thing, except you act. When you're scared of reading a book, you'll still be scared of reading that book, except you take the first step and pick up the book and open the first page. When you're scared of speaking in public, you'll still be scared of speaking in public, except you step out and begin to speak. So the only way we can cure any form of fear we have is by getting to action. Are you scared of something? You're scared of your career, advancing your career, or your family, or your parenting. You're scared of a particular aspect. Probably you need to improve on your emotions. It's going to be like that, except you act, except you go get the course, the right course that can help you, speak to the right coach, speak to the right mentor. Your fears will still be there. We will still not have confidence, except we act. So we must be the people that get to work. When you are scared of anything, an idea comes to your mind, just get to act, start to act, because the more you act, the more you relieve yourself. It makes you not to be scared of that thing. It helps you to even be confident. So we must be people that always act, get to act, work, act, just put in the action. Anything that scares us, just put in the action. Anything at all that scares us, put in the action. Make the first step. You find out that when you make the first step, the second step, over time, you find out that thing that you're scared of begins to disappear. Then the other thing we can do is to think in terms of now, not tomorrow. As I said, we should act with a sense of urgency. The truth is that when the time is gone, it can never be recovered. So we must think with a sense of now. now. You want to read a book to your children, read it now. You want to read a book, pick up that book now. You want to write down your goals, write it now. You want to do anything, do it now. We must act with this sense of urgency, because when we do that, it helps us not to postpone. Then the other thing we can do, don't waste time getting ready to act. Just start acting instead. So don't wait time getting to act. Don't wait time to the whole situations are perfect. Don't wait time to everything is perfect. For example, you want to do a YouTube video, or you want to do a video as I'm doing now. Don't waste time acting. Oh God, is everything perfect? Are my cameras okay? The background, is it perfect? My hair, is it perfect? My clothes, is it perfect? Everything. What I'm saying, do I have my notes? Do I have everything? Don't waste time in checking for everything to be perfect. The most important thing is to get to work. The most important thing is to act, because most of us, we waste a lot of time deciding on whether we should get to work, and we find out that we don't end up doing that thing. You waste a lot of time thinking, should I do this? Should I write my goal? Should I start this business? Should I read this book? You waste a lot of time. Before you know, time has gone and you've not started achieving, or you've not started implementing that goal you want to implement. So we must learn not to waste time. Instead of wasting time, just act. Learn not to waste time. We must get ready. Just put in the work. Just act. Don't waste time. Whenever an idea comes to our mind, we must learn to act and not to waste time. Then we're going to move over to chapter 11 of The Magic of Thinking Big. How to turn our defeat into victory. How can we turn our defeat as parents, as individuals, into victory? Sometimes we feel defeated. Sometimes we feel downcast. Sometimes we feel, oh my God, as in, this is just too much for me. How can I now turn this defeat? How can I turn this fear? How can I turn this negative experience into victory? When you lose, or when we lose, we must learn and then go on to win next time. So when we lose, when we make mistake, we must sit down, ask ourselves, why did I make this mistake? Why did I lose? And go ahead to win next time. When you lose a job, when you lose anything that, you just probably, you made a mistake, sit down and ask yourself, why did this thing happen to me? What is in this for me? What are the lessons I need to pick from this? Then make a decision to win next time. But what most of us do is that when we lose, when we make mistake, when we encounter a difficult situation, we sit down there and wallow in pain. We sit down there and wallow in shame. We sit down there and cry. We sit down there and think of what every other person will think about our situation. Forgetting that the most important thing is to sit down, ask ourselves, why did this thing happen? Why did I lose? Why was I not successful at this? Why did I make this mistake? When you sit down, you now create plans on how to be successful next time. And next time you go ahead to win. So that is one of the ways we can turn our defeat into our victory. When we lose, we get up, we pick up the lessons, and we tell ourselves, next time I am not going to lose. Next time I'm going to win. I'm going to take this as a learning opportunity. Or I'm going to take this as a learning experience so I can be better next time. The other way we can turn our defeat into our victory is to correct our faults and weaknesses. To correct our faults and our weaknesses. That weakness we know we have. We know we have weakness. For example, time management. We have a fault. We know we have something we need to work on. Don't sit down there and say, oh, I'm not going to do anything. The truth is that if we don't do anything, nothing will be done. We'll still continue in our weakness. We'll still continue in that fault of ours. But we must get to work. We must correct our faults. We must correct our weaknesses. We must seek for solutions. We must seek for help. When we need help in our parenting journey, we must go out there. There is solution out there. The thing is that most times we, as parents, we don't ask for help. Most of us, we sit down, we have a difficult challenge, we keep it to ourselves, but there is solution out there. You need help on your parenting journey. There are a lot of coaches and mentors out there to help you. You need help in your career. There are people that have gone ahead of you in that career that can help you. You need help in any area of your life. There is help out there. So we must learn to correct our faults and our weakness by going out there to seek for solutions. The next way we can turn our defeat into our victory is to stop blaming luck, because it will never get anyone where they want to go to. We should stop saying, oh, this person was lucky, that's why this person is successful. This person has a godfather, that's why this person is successful. This person has a godmother, that's why this person is successful. This person knows the manager, this person knows the MD, this person knows the leader, this person knows the person in charge. No, we must stop saying all those things, because the truth is that some of those people you think is luck, when you sit down, you see that most of them have actually put in the work. Most of them have actually planned. They've all set their goals on how to be there where we are admiring them. But rather, we must get to work. We must see, what can I do to move away from this defeat into victory? When we make mistake, as I said, we tell ourselves we're going to win next time. Then the other way we can turn our defeat into our victory is to see the good side and remove discouragement. We should always learn to see the good side in every situation. In every situation we find ourselves, there is always an opportunity. There is always a good side. But the thing is that most times we focus so much on the negative that we don't see the good side. We focus so much on what we have lost that we forget to see the brighter, the lights. We focus so much on the negative, on the bad, or we focus so much on the negative that we don't see that there is so much good. We don't see that there is so much blessing. There is so much things. There are so many good things. So we must learn to focus on the good. We must learn to focus on the good. It's going to help us to overcome defeat and to achieve victory. Then chapter 12 of The Magic of Thinking Big says, use your goal to help you grow. Use your goal to help you grow. We have to use our goals to help us grow. One of the ways we can grow is by working on our goals, by implementing our goals, putting in the plan and following the plan, the action we need to put in to help us to achieve our goals, and having the right system that can help us to be focused on that goal. It's good to have goals, but we need the right system that will keep us accountable, the right system that will help us to continue to be focused on our goal. Now we must get a clear fix on where we want to go to. So my question to us today is, do you even understand? Do you know where you're going to? Do you have a clear fix of where you're going to? Do you have a clear idea of where you're going to this year? Do you have a clear idea of your goals this month, of your goals tomorrow? I'm also asking myself this question. Do we have a clear idea? Because if our goals must work for us, if we must be focused to avoid distraction, we must focus on our goals. But the truth is that most of us, we allow ourselves to be distracted with everything around us. We allow ourselves to even be distracted with things that we see are opportunities, because we do not focus on our goals. Because some of us have not even set our goals for this year. So if we must be focused, if we must avoid distraction, there is so much noise out there in the world. There is so much distraction. That is why you find that most times we compare ourselves. Somebody, Mr. A has achieved this thing, and what we do is to start to compare. Oh, Mr. A has bought a car. Mr. A has bought a house. Mr. A has, because we are not focused on our goal. We allow distraction. We give into distraction. The world alone is filled with so much distraction. Social media is there's so much distraction out there. But the only thing that can keep us sane, the only thing that can keep us focused, is to have a clear fix of where we are going to. And one of the ways we can have this clear fix of where we are going to is to focus on our goals. So do you have a goal? Have you set your goal? Do you know where you're going to? Because when you have a goal, all your mind, your attention, your subconscious mind gets to work to achieve that goal. So we must have a clear fix of where we want to go to. Where do you want to go to in the next 1 year, next 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years? Where do you want to go to? Where do I want to go to? Do we understand? Do we have a clear fix? Are we clear of where we want to go to? We have to be clear of where we want to go to if we must grow. Another thing we can do is to write out a 10-year plan. In 10 years, where do you see yourself? In 10 years, where do I see myself? Or are we going to wing it? Are we going to allow life to happen to us? No. That is why we are learning. That is why we are growing, because we don't want life to happen to us. So start to imagine. Start to figure it out. Start to write it. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? Where do I see myself in 10 years? It's very important for us to plan for all these things. because it's not going to fall on us. We have to plan. Then the other thing we can do is to achieve our goal one step at a time. We have to plan to achieve our goal one step at a time, because even to build a house, you need to put the first block, the second block, the third block till the house is completed. So we have to make plans that will help us to achieve our goal one step at a time, so we don't overwhelm ourselves. So our goals, is good to have goals, but we need to set plans that can help us to achieve one at a time. Then the final way we can use our goals to help us grow is to invest in ourselves. One of the gifts we can give to ourselves is the gift of investing in ourselves, investing in our minds. Anything that will help us to grow mentally, in our minds, in our thought process, educating ourselves, improving in our mental capacity. That is what we should do. We should learn to invest in ourselves. We should learn to spend on our mind. We should learn to spend on the things that will help us grow, and not things that will not improve our mind. Because for us to grow, for us to be successful, for us to achieve success, for us to think big, we have to invest in ourselves. Invest in yourself by getting books, buying courses, attend courses, be in an accountability system. Learn, educate yourself the best way you can. Anything you need to do to improve your mental capacity, to improve your mind, your thought process, please go ahead. Because when you do that, you give yourself a gift of a lifetime. Then chapter 13, which is the final chapter of the magic of thinking big, says we need to think like a leader. How can we think like leaders? How can we think like leaders? Some of the ways we can think like leaders include trade minds to the people we want to influence. When we want to influence someone, we have to come down to their level. When we want to influence a particular person, we want to influence our children positively, we have to come down to the level of our children. We have to speak in the language they understand. We have to communicate to them in simple terms, in simple language that they understand. We have to bring down ourselves to even think, how will my child take this information? You want to correct your child. You don't stay up there and speak big English that the child will not understand, that will confuse the child. No, you speak you just communicate such that this child can assimilate what you're saying. This child can understand. And you ask yourself, how, if I'm in the situation of my child, how am I going to receive this message? That is one of the ways we can be leaders. You must see things through the eyes of people. When you want to influence anyone, you want to influence your children. We all want to influence our children positively. We want to influence our children. We want to influence the world positively. When we want to influence anyone and anything, we must learn to see things through the eyes of those people. How are those people seeing this thing? How is my child seeing this thing? How is my child going to take this information? How is my child going to understand this information? That is one of the ways we can be leaders, by seeing things through the eyes of the people we want to influence. The other way we can be leaders is to apply the be human rule. Treat others as you would like to be treated. That is one of the ways we can be leaders. We should learn to treat people the way we would like to be treated. We should learn to treat people in a good way, the way we obviously want to be treated as well. When we do that, it's going to help us to be good leaders. Then the other way we can be good leaders is to think progress, believe in progress, and push for progress. We must think progress, we must believe in progress, and we must push for progress. We must consistently push for progress. Any area of our life, wherever we find ourselves, we should not give up. We should not stop the battle. We should not stop the race. We must continuously think progress, push progress, and believe in progress. Then the final way we can be leaders is to take time out to confer with ourselves. What does it mean to confer with ourselves? It means to tap into our supreme thinking power. To tap into our supreme thinking power. We all have thinking power. We have the power. Thank you for joining us, ma'am. We all have supreme thinking power. So one of the ways we can be leaders is to tap into our supreme thinking power. How can you tap into your supreme thinking power? By reflecting. By thinking on paper before you go to bed or when you wake up in the morning, reflect. Just use your power. Use this ability to sit down with yourself. Most of us cannot sit down with ourselves. Most of us run away from ourselves. We don't want to be alone. That is why when you find out that when we sit down, we want to put on the TV, we want to put on the radio, we want to do something because we are scared of ourselves. We are scared of having a conversation with ourselves. But the truth is that there lies our power. Just after our forehead lies our power, the ability for us to sit down and think with ourselves. Have conversation with yourself. Ask yourself questions. What are my plans for today? How did today go? What are the things I did not get right? What were the mistakes I made? How can I correct these mistakes? How can I do better? That's there. It's one of the gifts we can give to ourselves. The gift of self-reflection. We are going through a difficult situation. Reflect. Something is not working on well. Reflect. Don't sit down and we should not allow life to just push us anywhere, anywhere we go to. No, we must take our lives back. We must take charge of our lives. And one of the ways we can take charge of our life is to use our supreme thinking power, the ability for us to reflect, the ability for us to sit down with ourselves, journal your thoughts, ask yourself questions, plan your life. We can do that in solitude. Avoid distraction, just be with yourself. Be with yourself and have conversation with yourself. When you do that, you give yourself a gift of a lifetime, and it helps you to be on a long run towards being a good leader. So those are some of the ways we can be good leaders, and those are some of the ways we can improve on our thinking that can help us to achieve our goal, that can help us to think big and achieve all we want to achieve. So thank you. We've come to the end of our book review. Yes, we've been studying this book, The Magic of Thinking Big. The Magic of Thinking Big. This is the book we've been reading. We've been studying it. We started last week. We had our first part A, and today we had the second part. If you were not with us last week, you can catch a replay. There's a replay on this group, Facebook group. Yes, you can catch a replay, or you can check our YouTube channel. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Renewed Parents Academy, to catch a replay of this beautiful book. It's a beautiful book. It's a book I'm going to recommend to anyone. The Magic of Thinking Big by David. Yes, The Magic of Thinking Big. So thank you all for coming to our book review. I believe you've learned something. I've also learned, I've benefited a lot by reading this book, by coming out to share this book with us. I believe you've benefited something. Please drop it in the comment section. Even if you're catching a replay, tell us one thing you're going to do. Just one, not two. Tell us one thing you're going to do from today by me hearing this video, this book review. What are you going to be doing differently? So thank you for joining us. We'll move into our webinar. So we're going to catch 5 minutes break. Just grab your water, grab your drink. We're still here. We are still sharing knowledge. Today is a day of knowledge. Just grab your water. We're going to go for 5 minutes break, and we're going to be right back for our weekly webinar. Thank you for joining me. I really do appreciate your time, and I do not take your time for granted because I understand your time is part of your life. Thank you for sharing your time with me. So remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Renewed Parents Academy. Remember to get a copy of my book, Becoming a Renewed Parent. I'm going to drop the link here in the comment section. You can also get the book on Amazon. Thank you all for your support till I come your way. Yes, just stay back, grab a cup of water, grab a cup of juice, and we'll be right back for our weekly webinar. Thank you and see you soon. Thank you and bye.